Hello, I'm Patricia Marcano, and in this video I'm going to talk about two very interesting topics according to the interpretation of two conferences. The first one is how to keep yourself motivated, and the second one is strategies and their acquisition in simultaneous interpreting. How to keep yourself motivated. Starting conference interpreting involves learning a few more specific skills. As with any new skills, their acquisition will depend on how much you practice them, while your practice in turn depends on your internal motivation and the motivation provided by your tutor. Generally speaking, things are not as simple as that. This is because we're not acquiring just one but several skills at the same time, and while we might be excelling in one, we might be failing at another. Starting point. After you successfully passes your entrance exam, your motivation gets a boost, and you are willing to finish your studies and get a certificate. But after the first weeks of your studies, you encounter the first obstacle, and according to studies, the three important are: social incentive. It's the prospect of satisfying career and the immediate rewards. It's a positive feedback. Then obstacle you encounter in your way should be seen as a progress monitoring tool. Psychological consists of developing a positive approach towards tutor feedbacks and of aligning the perception of one's own performance with the perception of your tutors and fellow students. Organizational. It's advisable to start practicing self-evaluation early in your course to become acquainted with the evaluation criteria and ask for the evaluation sheet from the entrance and final exams to discuss then with your tutor. Also, you can record yourself and listen to rendition with a critical ear. Introducing consecutive with notes. By the time consecutive with notes is introduced, you will have already mastered consecutive without notes quite well. Introducing simultaneous. External feedback. Usually, there are strong reaction in two opposite direction. The profession seems even more fascinating, but at the same time, you are self-conscious when you hear and see professionals at work. Video conferences are a great fact and challenge as they introduce a new skills, remote interpreting. They also involve more stress. This will prepare you for real life challenge in the profession and allow you to develop proper strategies which will prove particularly helpful at the final exam. Then comes pedagogical assistance. To try to enjoy and profit as much as possible the speeches given by native speakers and their feedback on your performance. Also, it will help you to provide a realistic picture of your progress. Final exams. Checks exams are a big reality check. However, hopefully you will have received a glimpse of what they may be like in the interim and mock final exam, so you know what to expect. Just remember, don't expect a smooth path to success. You will have to find your own way through. Strategies and their acquisition in simultaneous interpreting. It's a problem-solving and unnatural form of communication whose peculiarity, in addition to its bilingual nature, common to all oral and written translation forms, is provided by the time pressure under which it's carried out. Simultaneous interpreting is a goal-oriented activity directed towards the faithful reproduction of information in the target language under a given circumstance may be regarded as based on strategic behavior at all levels of the interpreted speech production. During the interpreted reproduce the speech delivered in the source language in the target language with a time lag between the two speech. While producing a segment of the interpreted speech, the interpreter is also listening to and processing to the subsequent speech segment of the source speech, dividing his or her attention between this process. During the interpreter is involved in a problem-solving activity in which the source speech is the problem and the target speech is the solution. So they have to develop interpreting solution and strategies that become internalized and automatized. In other words, they become skills. There are some factors that influence interpreters. Subjective factors are determined by individual knowledge such as linguistics, semantics, pragmatics, and encyclopedia level. Procedural knowledge, it's about knowing how to do something. It includes a set of sequence to be carried out, and it's used without conscious thinking. Declarative knowledge, it's the descriptive knowledge. Declarative knowledge is a shift through deliberate learning, focalized attention, and integrate information. Also, you need to develop a strategic behavior at a level of language production and comprehension. Some examples of internalized strategies needed to perform are divided attention and decalage, the activation of the relevant knowledge of a subject matter, technical terms, selection of information, among others. Simultaneous strategies are acquired through exercise, study and experience. Studies on strategies. The strategic behavior of interpreters is a recurrent object of research into simultaneous interpreting. It's classified this way: comprehension, anticipation, segmentation, selection of information, production, comprehension, expansion, generalization, among others. Overall strategies, decalage and monitoring. Emergency strategies, omission of text segments, transcoding, and parallel reformulation. Thanks.